Quick question for you guys. Who is going to be the Apple or the Microsoft of 3D printing in 10 years? Alright guys, welcome back to Disrupt It Yourself. I don't want to start another video off by apologizing for how long it's been since I've made a video, so let's just get into it. I've been thinking a lot lately about how my channel can be valuable and how it can be something worth my time and worth your time. Because it's got to be both, you know? If I'm just trying to make videos because I want you guys to watch it, then it's not going to work because no one wants to do that. The videos wouldn't be for you, they would be for me. The other side of that is if I just try and make more videos like the ones that are already successful from people that I admire, like Joel Telling or Noe and Pedro from Adafruit or Maker's Muse, or the list goes on, then what am I really doing? I'm just creating more of the same. I don't think that's all that valuable either. I don't think that's worth my time or your time. So I'm going to try to do something a little bit different. I'm going to try to make a channel that is more about discussion. And we'll see exactly how that plays out, but I think this is what I want to do. I've been thinking about the 3D printing industry a lot. For me, it's been almost exponential. I started out with 3D printing in, I guess it was 2013, probably early 2013. It was just a hobby. It was something that kind of facilitated my creation of projects that I was working on, making them more custom, more real. As the years have gone on, I'm now at a point where I actually make good money doing 3D printing as a service or consulting with other companies. And the only thing I have to offer really is my experience with these 3D printers. But I think that's valuable. That value is then augmented by having people like you chat with me about your feelings and your experiences with the 3D printers you're using, or just, it's not always going to be 3D printing either, right? It's technology, it's making, it's creating. But those discussions are going to help me understand what your experiences are. We can argue and we can compare notes, and I think then I can bring that information to everyone else. That's what I want to do. So I'm going to need a lot of your guys' help. I'm going to try first with Discord. Discord is kind of a way of creating very specialized and specific chat groups, kind of. There's different ways that you can access it, but I want to create one for my followers on Instagram and YouTube and social media in general, and we can create topics. Some of those topics will specifically be for videos that I'm working on. It may be that tomorrow when I make a video about bed leveling, so I'll start a group for bed leveling on that Discord group so we can chat about it. You guys can tell me, oh, I've got this 3D printer, I hate the way this works, or I've got this one and it does auto leveling and it's awesome. Those are just examples, right? On different topics. They can be very specific to a feature, or they can be something as business oriented and broad as DRM, or companies like MakerBot who, you know, are doing who knows what right now. There's just a lot of things I want to talk about. And the reason is because honestly, we're looking at an industry that is super important. It's very disruptive, it's transformative, and it's kind of, it fits the mold for what a lot of different technologies and devices have over the last 30 years or so. I look at industries that have made a big difference in the world economically. Things like the home video game console, the home PC. Let's see, there's so many others. The smartphone. We look at these technologies where right at the beginning, right out the gate, people looked at them and they said, that's really cool, but not everyone needs that. And then 10, 15 years later, or less in some cases, like the smartphone, people needed it. Everyone had it. And the problem is there's different experiences that we've had as a society and technologies that have either been adopted quickly or where the industry itself kind of tried to shove itself in our front door and it didn't really work out. A good example for that is the home video game console. People were obviously interested in video games. There was a market for it, but they tried to scale the market too quickly and it didn't work, and the market kind of had a little false start, and eventually it picked back up and now it's huge. And you know, with home computers, everyone at the beginning said, oh, that's really neat, but I don't need to have my own computer. But of course now they do. Not only that, now we have the smartphone. People said the same thing there because we still hadn't learned what a great technology was when we saw it, and people said, that's cool, but not everyone needs to have a smartphone. Why would we need to do that? And now everyone and their grandma has one. So I think we're experiencing something similar with 3D printing. We saw, a big burst in the industry where a lot of companies are out now and they're making 3D printers, and a few big players said, hey, everyone needs this, but the problem was the technology wasn't, perhaps isn't, ready for the market that they were trying to reach. And it kind of died down a little bit. So now people are stepping back and saying, oh, see, everyone thought that 3D printers were important, but now they're not going to happen. Nobody needs that in their home. There are a lot of companies around right now, and just like your IBM, your Microsoft, your Apple, your Gateway, there's a time where there's many big players, but not all of those big players will survive. I think we're going to see in 10 years when the industry rallies and unrelated companies find ways to make use of 3D printers to their consumers, I think we're going to see a comeback for 3D printing. And at the end of it, we're only going to have maybe 5 big companies that really figured out how to reach their market and really thought about user friendliness, about user experience. And we have a chance right now to help dictate what that user experience is. And I think that's a big role. And we don't think that often about how a customer, how the consumer really has power in the industry to shape how the technology, what kind of final form it takes. And a good example, which is something that I've almost been more excited about lately than the latest 3D printer that I've had the chance to use, is this. And you may have seen this from me on social media or from other people because it finally came out. But this was a Kickstarter project from an awesome company called Print Plus. And what they're doing is they're creating kits where you get electronics and 3D models. You 3D print your parts, and you put the parts that they provide, like things you can't 3D print, right? The wires, the electronics. And then you have something that's better longevity than most electronics because, like yesterday when mine broke, I reprinted it, and now I have headphones again. I look at something like that and I think, yes, this is exactly what has to happen. Companies that make sprinklers, companies that somewhere like Frigidaire or Kenmore or KitchenAid, if they could figure out how to crack the market and make 3D printing profitable for them, 3D printing is really going to take off. But then on the other side, we have these companies who are making 3D printers who think, oh yeah, auto leveling, let's do that. Oh yeah, cloud printing, let's do that. But none of them are thinking, is this the right way to do any of that? Is this really making our 3D printer better? Because now that I've used a few, $300, $800, $4,000, $5,000 3D printers, I've seen a little bit of everything. I haven't seen everything, but I've seen pretty much the full spectrum. And what I've realized is the price tag, although it may be indicative in general of what to expect from a 3D printer, not everyone knows what they're doing, and even the big players aren't doing everything perfectly. So I'm hoping you guys can help me. You can participate in the discussion. And if you do, I'll make sure I give credit to the people who are talking about these things on Discord with me. Of course, you can also just leave me comments on Instagram. I do have a Facebook page that I don't use enough, but I think we're going to focus on Discord. That's going to be the easiest way. So if you are participating in the conversation, you give some good insight, then when I make my video about that topic, I'm going to call you out. And, for some people who are particularly active and interested, maybe I can get you to be in the video with me too, and we can do a chat and we can record that and make a special video that way. But I think this is an important thing to do. I think this is way better than me spending all of my time just reviewing 3D printers. I don't think that's the right thing for me to do for you guys day in and day out. So let me know what you think. I just want you to understand what I'm trying to do now, and I'll make sure that as soon as I have Discord going, that I blast it out to all of you guys. And if you can get involved, I think we're going to have a lot of fun. All right, guys, thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Comment below, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll talk to you soon.